Blockchain Week continues with a dialogue between blockchain expert, the NexChange head of content, Olga Yaroshevsky. And she is going to be deep in discussion with Mr. Michael Gord, who is the CEO of GDA Capital. Mr. Gord has been involved deeply in the blockchain and Bitcoin world since 2015, and we leave it to which should prove to be a fascinating discussion. Et maintenant, un dialogue entre Olga Yaroshevsky, chef de content avec le groupe NexChange, et Mr. Michael Gord du GDA Capital.
Hello everyone, it's Africa Blockchain Week 2021 Virtual Summit. I'm Olga Yaroshevsky, head of content for this conference, the NexChange Group, and I'm happy to be here today with Michael Gord, founder and CEO of GDA Capital, a company alongside a very interesting new project, Axia Network, Axia Coin. Hi Michael, how are you?
Hey Olga, I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Well, I think I'd love to start with your introduction. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your journey in blockchain, how you got involved in this industry in the first place, and why?
Yeah, so my name is Michael Gord. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the GDA group of companies. I've been in blockchains for just about my entire career. I found out about Bitcoins at less than a penny in 2010. I thought it was a scam. But then I saw the Wired article in 2012 that made me take it seriously, maybe go down the rabbit hole. And a few months later, after some research, I decided it's the most exciting technology in the history of the world. I wanted to tell anyone that would listen. So I got first involved by starting the cryptocurrency and then later the FinTech Club at McGill University. I then started Bitcoin Canada. And then when I graduated, I immersed myself fully into the industry.
So you're a pioneer, kind of, right?
I am definitely an early adopter here. And why? I just fundamentally believe that it's a better way of doing business, of handling value, of transacting globally, and that it provides a much better form of infrastructure to do everything in the world, including finance, including supply chains, including governments, and it gives power back to the people, which I think is important.
I'm on mute, sorry. So what is Axia? Can you tell us more? What is Axia Coin? What is the digital currency behind that? And as far as I know, you've had like a news coming out a couple of days ago about the launch of the whole financial inclusive ecosystem. So what is Axia? Can you tell us more, please?
Yeah, so Axia is a project that we've been working very closely with for the past almost 3 years now. Axia has been in stealth for 4 years, so it has been quite a long journey to get to market. There's 3 primary components of the Axia ecosystem. The first is a currency that's supported by real world assets like real estate, like sovereign bonds, like commodities. But in theory, there could be arbitrary assets that are participating in this pool of assets. The second is a financial services ecosystem that consists of the Axia Capital Bank at the center, which is a bank that has no balance sheet risk because Axia is not lending out assets on account in the same way as traditional banks, but that provides the center of Axia's financial services ecosystem, where there's checking, there's savings accounts, there's credit cards, debit cards, remittances, there is collateralized loans, there's venture capital, there's private equity. Really everything that you can do with traditional fiat currencies, you'll be able to do with the Axia currency. And the third is a application ecosystem with the Axia phone, the Axia mobile phone at the center of, as well as the Axitel mobile company that is about to be introduced. So in the Axia phone ecosystem, there is a ecosystem of native applications many of which are fully built out and several of which are already publicly available on the Apple and store. So there is the XChat app that's live, which is similar to WhatsApp. There is the Express application, which is similar to Twitter. Ax Connect, which looks like Facebook. There is the Xsemble, which looks like a Hangout type application, and there's about 15 other applications that are about to be introduced to the market in the next couple weeks that provide basically the entire user interface that we're used to on the traditional internet, but as part of the Axia ecosystem with the Axia native currency as the default currency in all of these applications.
Interesting. So what is the blockchain that is behind this whole ecosystem? Is it are you using any existing network, or have you developed your own blockchain? Is it centralized, decentralized?
Yeah, so Axia is a dual blockchain model where the Axia currency is on a public blockchain that is auditable as every public blockchain is, and then the asset pool is on a private blockchain to not be tampered with for the actual asset capitalization. To go to market, Axia was and it is launched on Ethereum for speed of issuance, ability to list on exchanges, wallets, all that kind of thing. But very soon, Axia is going to be introducing its own protocol so that there will be a entire DeFi ecosystem similar to what Ethereum's built out by using the Axia currency as collateral for all of the DeFi applications that are currently on Ethereum, as well as for tokenization. So there will be a ecosystem of new currencies or of new tokens that are issued on the Axia blockchain to leverage the very fully built out application ecosystem that Axia has already started to launch, to leverage the Axia Bank that is usable for retail and for businesses and institutions, and leverage the significant asset capitalization that is already in the ecosystem.
So this is basically something that both users, like regular people, can use along with banks and institutions, enterprises, right?
Yeah, so the whole model of Axia is Axia actually means value, and the whole ecosystem was built to redistribute value back to the community and to provide a financial and application ecosystem that is usable for the unbanked, is usable for governments that have created economics and governance of the currency is not sustainable. So Axia will be rolled out along sovereign funds of nations, and the early adopters of the Axia network. Whereas with Facebook, if you were an early adopter of Facebook and you were bringing millions of users to the Facebook network, there was no way to share in the value of that you're creating for Facebook, unless you are a early investor. But the early investors were traditionally locked to a small elite circle of Silicon Valley or New York City investors. The people that create the ecosystem of Axia will be incentivized with value in the form of Axia currency, which is usable to do anything that you use your fiat currencies with. So yeah, for nations that adopt Axia sooner, they will directly share in that upside, as well as for individuals that are either unbanked or that live in a country with a currency that is being hyperinflated. Well, now they have access to trusted banking because, as mentioned, there's no balance sheet risk. Axia is not lending out assets on account, the same as quote unquote traditional banks. and Axia is supported by real world assets. So the value of each unit of Axia currency is reasonable to assume will hold its value in a way that is not possible for fiat currency, especially fiat currency that has governments that are printing currencies nonstop, like we're seeing today.
Okay, speaking of adoption, as far as I understand, you're aimed at specific African countries, right? And aimed at increasing and ensuring financial inclusion in Africa, which is, I have to say, the hottest topic, not only of our conference, but generally on the whole African agenda. So how does Axia add value here? And maybe there are already some, some African countries, governments, users that you've been talking to, or like including them into your network already?
Yeah, so certainly there are already some really amazing conversations we're having with some African nations, but we are agnostic. This is a currency for the world, and I wouldn't say that they're specific. I mean, the countries that I think are going to be fastest to adopt the Axia currency are countries that can, number one, move quickly, so they don't have large bureaucratic decision making. Number two, have currencies that are being hyperinflated. Number three, have a percentage of the population that is still unbanked, where banks are currently not servicing their people. But yeah, I think that it's likely that a lot of, or that an increasing number of nations will look to adopt the Axia currency as a means of payment within their borders.
And how does it correlate with regulations?
So Axia, the Axia Capital Bank is regulated. Each one of the Axia businesses is set up in different jurisdictions, and each of the Axia businesses that are set up need to consider and ensure that they're compliant in the jurisdictions that they're set up in.
Are they crypto friendly jurisdictions?
Yeah, I think that all of the jurisdictions that Axia is, the various Axia spokes are set up in, need to be friendly to the activities of that specific business. Okay,
so for on from the user's perspective, so what does a user, let's say in a African country, has to have in order to be part of the network? Just a smartphone?
Yeah, access to the internet.
Just access to the internet.
With the internet, they can set up a bank account at the Axia Capital Bank, and they can start to use the Axia Bank as their digital bank, which has no balance sheet risk, so their assets are safe. Actually, the bank is on the blockchain, so it's the most transparent bank in history. Most banks are not on the blockchain yet, and there's no transparency of anything. The assets are also on the blockchain, so the store of value supporting the Axia currency is reviewable, is auditable in real time, and you can actually see the daily market changes of the pool of assets in a way that is more transparent than just about any that I'm aware of pool of assets ever. Yeah, from the bank, they can use the Axia currency at that they can get gift cards for thousands of merchants. They can put it onto a debit or credit card, and they can start to transact in the same way that, that they use fiat currency.
Well, from retail perspective, it sounds very exciting as far as I understand, because it really eases all the processes, right?
Certainly, and then from a government perspective, we're looking to be partnering with governments and to use Axia in a way to create financial independence for countries, but also for individuals. So, for example, for individuals that are born in specific countries, we'll be looking to partner with governments to grant an Axia currency that they can't access until they are whatever age, which ideally provides them with some foothold when they are of an age that they can be, that they are looking to access university education or textbooks or whatever. For holders of debts, we're looking to incentivize individuals to be paying back more than the minimum by granting them a unit of Axia currency for paying back their own debt. As far as education, we're looking to provide infrastructure and an ecosystem for people that are not able to access education or that are not able to access food, that need to work to get food, to every day learn something from a curriculum that we'll be introducing, and to be granted a unit of Axia currency for their completion of their education, which the goal is that the jobs of individuals can become learning, can become education, and that the result of their education will be a grant of a unit of Axia currency that provides them with their meal for the day.
Well, it sounds like a massive inclusion project. Well, good luck with that. By the way, what's the current price of Axia coin?
It is $1 per unit of Axia currency.
Okay, well, affordable. Okay, my last question would be, I think, where do you see risks and challenges for, building a massive financial inclusion system and to overcome all those financial inclusion challenges for Africa in particular?
I think that a big part of it is that to come to market without a fully built out ecosystem, without an ecosystem where you can use the Axia currency in applications that you already use, or applications that look like applications you already use. Like the building out of the entire ecosystem, I would say was the biggest hurdle that took a very large, it's actually been in stealth now for 4 years. Having a fully decentralized ecosystem of so many spokes also has been a hurdle. But I think that, I've been in blockchains now for about 10 years, and I'm very excited to say that this is the most significant digital asset ecosystem that has ever come to market in terms of capitalization and in terms of fully built out technology in advance of coming to market. So I'm excited for the world to see.
So are we. So thank you so much, Michael. That was very interesting. We will wish you good luck. Everyone, come check out Axia digital currency, Axia coin, and the whole new financially inclusive ecosystem. Thank you again. We're very excited about you building a new network and about Africa Blockchain Week Virtual Summit going forward. Everyone, thank you so much for your attention, enjoy the rest of our virtual summit. I'm Olga Yaroshevsky here with Michael Gord, founder of CEO of GDA Capital, company alongside a new Axia financially inclusive network. Thank you again.
Thank you, Olga. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.